When I started looking at superhumans at work and its alignment to my core focus, which is bringing forward the message of selling with love for ethical businesses to thrive, I noticed it wasn't aligned, but it was really close. Hey everyone, welcome back to Superhumans at Work. And this might be one of the last times that you hear me refer to Superhumans at Work, because I have an exciting announcement that I've been working on for the past few months, and it has to do with alignment, which is going to be the core of what I want to speak about today. But without further ado, I want to announce the fact that the podcast will be having a slight name change that will slowly be rolled out over the next couple of weeks, where it's going to be now called the Selling with Love podcast. And there's a very clear reason as to why that's going to happen. For those of you who aren't familiar, I am working on a book that will be released at the beginning of 2022 called Selling with Love. You would have heard me on a lot of episodes speaking about my passion for sales, and truly one of the things that I'm super excited about bringing to the world is really teaching people methods and processes that allows them to sell from a place of heart, that allows them to do it in a way that is ethical, aligned with their values. And the kinds of guests that I want to bring on the show are going to continue very similarly to what you've experienced with Superhumans at Work, but I really want to talk about the issues that come up when we struggle with sales. Whether you've ever had hesitation over selling yourself, growing your business, making profit, learning techniques, but also working on your mind and working on yourself to be the most abundant possible. I think these are things that really need to be worked on so that the ethical businesses in the world can truly thrive and make the impact that they deserve to make in the world. Because let's face it, there is a lot of bad sales that exist in the world. And so I am excited to bring an army of enlightened sales individuals who can really make a dent in the universe by using this power, this extremely amazing, beautiful energy that is happening through the process of selling, and that can be used as a force of good. And so, if you've been a follower of Superhumans at Work, first off, I need to say a big thank you and know that this is our 200th episode. That's right. We've had over 200 episodes with amazing guests coming on the show since we launched it at the end of 2019. We're coming up to 2022, and we've had a fantastic run. We've just hit as well 1 million downloads on the podcast, and that's all of you showing up regularly, listening to this amazing show. And if you are expecting a major change, don't be too surprised. It's not going to be a significant change. I'm still bringing on amazing guests. We're going to be doing interviews, and we're going to be focused on things that are going to make an impact for not only those in the workplace, but also those who are freelancers as well as working as small business owners. I really want to bring this message home, and this is really the purpose of the lesson I wanted to impart upon everybody on this 200th episode. And it's a question of alignment and getting clearer on your purpose. I've been spending maybe the last 6 years since the first thought of a concept called selling with love came into my mind. It's been 6 years since that thought happened, and it was through a small talk that I've done in front of a few coworkers I had at Mind Valley. We had a guest trainer, which ended up being Vishen Lakhiani's mother, who was a public speaking trainer. And I had this, call it a divine download, call it an inspiration, call it just a moment of inspired action where I thought about this selling with love concept. It was really weird, and I can't even point to where this came from. All I know is everybody told me that we know Jason, he loves selling. And I did it in a way that was not manipulative. I did it from a place filled with enthusiasm, and a lot of people would get on board with my ideas because of the way I would present them with such a flair. And this is where I got inspired to start teaching this method of selling with love. As this idea evolved, it's very interesting. And if you're out there and you have something you find is really important, but is a little scary, and I have to admit, going out there and talking about selling with love is really scary because it's a weird thing. I mean, if you go into the sales world and tell them all you need is love to sell more effectively, people are going to look at you funny. Yet it's so amazing when I've continued to beat the drum on this message, the people's lives that were able to be transported, the people that message me constantly telling me that I've radically shifted their perspective on how sales can be done. And they don't need to be manipulative. They don't need to be taking advantage of people. They don't need to use sleazy tactics. They can just demonstrate, explain, use the techniques that they feel comfortable with to sell from a place of abundance and love. And truly, when you do this, you make the buyer happy, you make yourself happy, and every other external person that is affected from the process of you selling gets a benefit as well. When you go and you want to push together a message, you start becoming radical on what you want to focus on. And to me, this was a big decision to make a rebranding of this podcast. I mean, you're a regular listener. I don't want you to leave. I want to keep you in my tribe. And then I started asking the question, like, what is my one thing? And I'm so lucky that I get to interview all these amazing people, because I go back on the content from these interviews. I'm thinking of Jeff Woods, who spoke about the one thing, and they speak about the power of focus. I have all these amazing guests that I interact all the time, and I always try to apply some of the knowledge that they teach. And this power of focus and alignment has been critical to people that really want to go the distance and really want to have success. So what was your one thing? What is it that you focus on? And when I started looking at Superhumans at Work and its alignment to my core focus, which is bringing forward the message of selling with love for ethical businesses to thrive, I noticed it wasn't aligned, but it was really close. And so I want to continue bringing more amazing guests, more interviews coming up that are going to give you powerful actions that you can apply if you're looking to continuously improve your business, attract more customers, and make more sales in the process. Because the more you do that, the more you're making an impact with the business that you run. And so this is why the podcast will be changing to the Selling with Love podcast. You will see some slight changes happening week after week as I make this transition. I still have amazing guests coming through the pipeline. So for those of you who are fans of Marissa Peer, she's going to come and speak about how our not enoughness and our mental blocks really keep us back from selling ourselves. Why is it so difficult selling ourselves as opposed to selling for a business? A lot of people have blocks around that, including myself. I'm also going to have Sonia Choquette, who's going to be coming in. She's an intuitive coach. She's going to be talking about how to use your intuition as your sixth sense to have a better connection with the people that you speak with in a sales perspective, or as a leader, or as a manager. And she's going to talk about using intuition to be able to close more sales as well. I tell you, it's going to be a unique twist on conversations with the most amazing people that you're going to be able to instantly apply in something that is so tangible, because we all need to sell in our lives, whether it's about getting that promotion, getting that raise, getting that job, getting that, maybe it's a perfect partner. But at the bottom line is, whenever we make a transaction between a buyer and a seller, every time that happens, it's a powerful movement of energy. And when you learn to do this from a place of love, you know that you're making ripples around the planet of positivity that we definitely need to see more of. A shift on the way we do business is happening right beneath our eyes. And we're going to be a part of that by looking at the process of selling and doing it from a place of love, because we're seeing these changes in leadership. We're seeing these changes in career. And I tell you, when you embrace this concept, you will be unstoppable in the impact you make and continue being a superhuman in the process. So a couple things I wanted to share with you on this short episode is, number one, you're going to see a rebranding of Superhumans at Work, now being called Selling with Love Podcast. And so when you see this within your subscription, of course, it's still me. And I hope you keep to enjoy the show, because I love having all you listeners coming in and being able to participate in this learning experience. Number two is, think about how you operate in your business, in your career, and what is the focus that you have? What is the one thing? Are you finding alignment? And if you don't, I want you to know that it's okay. I've mentioned that it took me 6 years of trying things, testing things, going in different directions, only to get me a little closer to the ultimate core of what I find is the ultimate alignment, which is speaking about selling with love. And so it's a journey, but go try things. Nothing's going to be perfect along the way, but when you find that one thing, you'll be able to make those powerful decisions to quickly align everything in a powerful way. And it is a little scary, but it is extremely powerful. And so when you go out there, continue. Be your best. Be the superhuman. Thank you so much for the 200 episodes that we've been able to come. 1 million downloads have happened. And as I'm making this announcement, I want to give an invitation to everybody. If you would like to learn more about what this whole concept of selling with love is, I'm doing a Selling with Love challenge that's starting on Monday, November 1st. Now, if you're listening to this as a replay, know that there's going to be a link in the show notes that can talk to you about future times that this challenge is going to happen. But if you're listening to this live, click on that link in the show note that I'll be putting up that will directly bring you to this challenge around selling with love. It's an event that's going to be live on Zoom where we'll get to interact and we'll be able to actually go through the concepts of what selling with love is, and you'll be able to join one of the live interview recordings with an amazing guest that's going to be talking about, if you're going out there and selling, should you be using webinars? Should you be using challenges? What tools exist to be able to build your brand, build your business, and really resonate in a way to give value to people and make sales in the process as well? If you've had any struggles with sales, you hesitate, you feel yucky about it, you feel like it's blocking you from success, and you wish you could just move forward and sell with your heart authentically and powerfully, this is going to be the session you're going to want to attend. So link will be in the show notes for you to discover that. And starting on Tuesday, the podcast resumes under this new brand, some amazing guests. And again, thank you so much for being here. So have a look at the link in the show note for you to be able to register for that 3-day event. It's 1 hour a day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I really look forward to seeing all of you join me for this amazing event as we're going to announce the transition of the podcast, as well as bring you some amazing content in the process. My name is Jason Marc Campbell, and this has been Superhumans at Work, now moving towards Selling with Love podcast. Thank you. I am your host, Jason Marc Campbell, and this is the Selling with Love podcast.